Welcome back everyone, vonstickers here. Today we're going to jump into some DayZ. It's seen a bit of resurgence recently, so we're going to offer up some tips for the newer player, so enjoy. Stay tuned to the end of the video where I'll be sharing with you 2 reasons why you're getting sick and not even understanding why. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe and maybe drop a comment with some of your own tips. Thanks for watching. So the chances are when you spawn in, you're going to be near the coast or on the coast. If you can see any boats nearby, don't miss out on them. Give them a quick look because you can find some great starter gear there, some backpacks for instance, maybe a soft drink, something along those lines. And of course you can find fishing gear and stuff, but you don't need to worry about that straight away. One of the most important tips I would give is when spawning in on the coast, get away from there. Do not stay on the coast. All that's waiting for you here is a very quick or a very slow death. You'll either be killed by spawn campers or you'll starve to death and find virtually no gear because everything at the coast has already been looted. Get away from there, get inland and get some loot. If you haven't been lucky enough to find a knife, don't worry, there's a couple of ways that you can get one. The easiest one is using stones. Now you can combine 2 to make a knife, but there's an easier way that's not as commonly known, and that's just find 1 stone. And these stones can be found on the beach, on railway tracks, or on hiking trails. You might have to wait around for a few seconds or so for them to spawn in, and they're not terribly common, but you will find them. So once you've found a single stone, try and find a large rock or boulder and approach it with the stone in your hand, and you should get an option to craft a stone knife. It's also worth noting that you can actually harvest small stones from these boulders if you have a pickaxe in your inventory. You can also make a knife from the corpses of gutted animals or players, not zombies, or from other people's kills where you find the bones lying around. Just place a stack of at least 2 bones in your hands and it should give you the option to craft a knife straight away. Be very careful when you gut an animal or a player. If you're not wearing gloves, you'll get bloody hands, and the next time you try and eat with bloody hands, you will get sick. So the best thing you can do is to wash your hands. Now you can do this by visiting a well. There's a mouse wheel option there to wash your hands, or a body of water, and I believe you can also do it with a canteen, although I haven't tried this yet. So make sure those hands are clean before you eat, or of course just wear gloves. If you're struggling to find food, check in gardens and orchards. You'll find a lot of fruit trees, and if you look carefully on the ground you'll find a lot of fruit. Some of it looks pretty rough, but you can actually eat everything that isn't flagged as rotten. So we spoke about wearing gloves to stop getting blood on your hands. If you can't find gloves, you can actually make a pair really easily out of 2 rags. You can make improvised hand wrappings. So grab yourself 2 rags, make those, and you are good to go. Of course, they'll not only protect your hands from blood, but they'll also protect them from damage from sliding down ladders and keep them a bit warmer than being barehanded. And while we're on the subject of making things out of rags, if you get 2 stacks of 6 rags and drop one onto the other, you can make a rope. Now ropes are used in so many things, from backpacks to fishing rods to all manner of things, so definitely worth doing. If you need a rope, that's how you make one. It's worth noting that you can also make rope from guts. If you just get 1 gut and drag a knife onto it, you can make rope that way, although guts of course are harder to come by than rags. And if you've got an abundance of rags, or indeed you've got an extra rope, why not make a rope belt? You can carry your knife on this, so that will give you a little extra inventory space. All you got to do, place 1 rope in your hands and use the mouse wheel to give you an option to craft a belt. And since we're making rope, maybe you've got some of those bones left over. We're on the way to making a fishing kit here, so why not make some bone hooks? Nice easy craft this one, just combine bones with a knife and there you go, fish hooks. Right, well you've got a rope and you've got some hooks, so we may as well finish making the fishing rod. All you've got to do for this is find a bush and harvest 1 long stick. Once you've got the long stick, all you need to do is drag the rope onto it. That turns it into a fishing rod. And you can drag the hook onto the rod as well, but of course that means that you've got an unbaited hook on there, so hold off on that for a moment and we'll get some bait first. Getting fishing bait's pretty easy. All you got to do is put some sort of blade in your hand. It doesn't even have to be a knife, just some sort of bladed item. And look at the floor with it, and it'll give you an option to dig up worms. Once you've got those, just simply combine the worm with the hook and you've got a baited hook. Throw that onto your rod and you are ready to fish. Okay, so you've got your fishing rod ready, all baited and good to go. So all you've got to do is approach the water, be it the sea, a pond, a lake, a stream, anything, even the small streams you can fish in, until you get a prompt to start fishing. And all you do is just hold down the mouse button and do not let go. Don't let go of the mouse button until you've caught a fish. Simple as that. It might take a few goes round the loop, but you'll get one eventually. And there you have it, one fish. Just don't forget, be wearing gloves or remember to wash your hands after gutting it. And while you've been out fishing, splashing around in the water, or maybe you got caught out in the rain, you could have gotten soaked through. So you may not have realised, but you can actually wring your clothes out to get them back down to a damp status, which is obviously better than wet or soaked or whatever. So just put them in your hands and it should give you an option to wring them out. Get them back to damp and you've got less chance of getting sick. When it comes to zombies, or the infected as they're properly known, the best way to kill them is of course silently. And you can actually do a stealth kill strike on them by using a knife. If you get a knife in your hand, sneak up behind them, hold shift
Surprise,
and the right mouse
motherfucker.
button and then attack. So it's a strong attack from behind a zombie, then you should get a stealth kill. If you have to go head to head with a zombie, then observe the 2 strikes rule. Zombies will hit once and then a second time and then give you a window to hit them. So whenever they're striking, just block, wait for your moment.
Strike 3, you're out!
To block, just hold the right mouse button and walk backwards. These little outhouses are often overlooked but can actually contain some of the most useful survival gear in the game. You can find very often in here things like sewing kits, leather sewing kits and sharpening stones, all of which you're going to need a fairly constant supply of, so don't skip this little building. If you don't have any bandages, you're probably going to have to use rags to stop your bleeding, or maybe a sewing kit. But what you've got to do is make sure that you disinfect those rags. Find some disinfectant, some iodine, and disinfect them, because if you patch up a wound with unclean rags, then you're going to get sick. If you find a water bottle or a canteen, the chances are it'll already have some water in it. Don't drink this water. Empty it out by putting it into your hands and using the mouse wheel option to empty it, or add some chlorine tablets to it to make it safe to drink. Alright, well that's it for this video. I hope you found these tips useful. Feel free to drop a comment with your own tips, that would be cool. And of course a like and a subscribe would always be welcome. Thanks for watching.
How do you like me now? You like that? Yeah, get some, get some.